All right, so we read the opening section. By the way, earbuds, phones, if you have any of that out, put it away. We read the opening section of The Alchemist. Talk to me about Santiago. What do we know about him? Anybody? Bailey?
He's a shepherd.
He's a shepherd. Okay, what else? Danar. He travels the world, right? At least at this point, he has a dream to travel the world. He is traveling the land, a certain section, a certain region of the world at this point. Yes, Isaiah.
I look at the Chromebook.
Man, we talking about Santiago. Nobody care about your Chromebook, man.
I forgot my iPad.
No, you can't get a Chromebook, man. We'll figure something out. What else do we know about him? Danar. He likes a girl, right? Likes a girl, really likes a girl, right? He meets this girl. How does he meet her? By the way, somebody tell me, how does he meet her? Hunter.
He was reading and
And she was surprised that he knew how to read, right? And they sort of struck up this conversation. Who is the girl? Baby.
The daughter of the merchant.
Daughter of the merchant, right? So he walks around, he's a shepherd, he has this flock of sheep, and he sells the wool, the merchant buys the wool, etc., etc. And while he's waiting on the merchant, the girl comes from behind, asks, how do you know how to read, blah, 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 blah. They strike up a conversation. Now, this one conversation for him was impactful, okay? For whatever reason, he says in the book, he didn't say I started to, but he says, the book says he starts to feel differently than he's ever felt before. All of his life, he has had this desire to travel the world and see all of these great things. And for the first time, this girl has made him think about staying in one place, right? To the point that it has been a year later, and he is looking forward to speaking to this girl that he spoke to a year ago, right? How many of you will hold on that long, you think? Anybody ever make that kind of impression on you? Be like, man, I just talked to her, dog. It'll be a whole year. Man, whoo. Can't wait to see her again. No, or you just on to the next one. You on to the next one. It's like sales, baby. You gotta get yourself out there. The more chicks you holler at, the better chance you got. Okay. Anything else that we know about Santiago? How did we learn that he learned how to read? Ethan. His family wanted him to be a priest, right? So they sent him to a seminary. Anybody in here plan on going to seminary? No. He wasn't in my class, but there was a student a few years back, and he was planning on going to seminary, right? He wanted to be a priest. Okay. Why do you make that face? You're like, for some people that's cool, right? Being a priest is what they want to do. That's what they want to do. And it says in the book, it tells us, that he has studied Spanish and he has studied Latin. Okay. At the time, it is based upon what the girl says. We understand that it is not a common thing for people to be able to read and be that educated, especially at his age. Okay. So that's an important fact. Okay. What about his personality? What do we know about Santiago's personality? If you were to describe to me what his personality is like, what would you say? Or what might you say? What sort of things might you say? Bailey. More of a loner? Absolutely. Like the fact that you are a shepherd and you want to travel the world and it's you and a bunch of sheep. Says that you enjoy a certain level of solitude, right? Being alone, okay? Most people who are like, if you're described as a people person, you probably struggle with not being around people. I think human beings in general are, communal creatures. Like, we need connection on some level. That's why a lot of y'all were going crazy during quarantine, right? A lot of people went crazy during quarantine because they're like, I need to be out and like see people and do stuff, right? Other people were just fine, right? Other people were just like, hey, I'm cool. They plugged in their video game and was like, right? Or they turned on their television and was like, that was you? I was surprisingly okay for the most part. And but we learned that about Santiago, right? So he enjoys a certain amount of solitude, very, very much a loner. What about the conversation he has with his father? What does he tell his father? And we talked about this in class. What does he tell his father that may have been a difficult thing to tell his father? Dylan. That he wanted to travel the world instead of becoming a priest. Do any of your parents have an idea what they want for you? Does anybody? Sometimes parents are like, hey, hands off. Whatever you want to do, as long as you're happy, cool. But every once in a while you get a parent that's like, I'd like you to be an attorney. Or I want you to be a doctor. Or I want you to, they have whatever dream they have for you based upon, whatever, right? And sometimes it can be very difficult to tell them, hey, Mom, Dad, I love you, but that's not what I want to do, right? That's not what I want to pursue, okay? And you may experience this. If you go to college, sometimes on a smaller scale, that's something that happens, right? People go to college and your parents say, what are you majoring in? And you say, I'm going to major in dance. And your parents go, we're not paying hundreds of thousands of dollars for you to major in dance, right? Very often you will get that kind of response. They're like, I need you to major in something that's like, that you can make some money back and maybe do something with, or something that's a little more, a little easier for you to get into or something like that. Or if you wanted to be an actor or something, maybe you have some parents like, I'm not for you majoring in drama or whatever, or music or whatever, even though that's what your dream is. Okay, so it was difficult potentially for Santiago to say this to his father, and yet he tells him. So what does that tell you about his personality? How would you describe him, given the fact that he had the balls to say it? Truthful. What other adjectives might you use? That absolutely works. What other way might you describe him? Bold? Oh, I love it. That's a good one, right? Bold, right? It takes a certain level of boldness to have a dream. Some of you in here probably have a dream. Some of you, maybe you don't know what that is yet, right? Some people's dreams are this big and some people's dreams are this big, right? Some people's dreams are, you know what my dream is? My dream is to be a mother one day and have a family and blah, 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 right? That may not seem like a big dream to some people, but to some people that's a big deal. Somebody else's dream is, I want to be an astronaut or something, you know what I mean? I want to be the most famous, actor in the world or whatever. When you have a dream this big like that, it takes a certain level of boldness to even say it. Why? How do people often respond when you have a dream that is big? They doubt you, right? Sort of I don't know if it's a natural human thing that we do, but people like to push their insecurities onto you as well, right? They feel like if they can't do something, then you probably can't do it either. Or they start to play the percentages like, well, only this percent of these people have, make it to this and this and that, right? It's like playing the lottery, right? Play the lottery sometimes. I don't play it often, but every once in a while I play the lottery. People go, why would you play the lottery? Like, the chances are...
Have you won?
No. I play the big lottery. I'm the one like scratch-off tickets and stuff like that. I don't play those usually. But I'm trying to hit that Powerball, that Mega Mil. So I can come in here and be like, everybody.
Didn't some girl on Elkhart win like $7 million?
7 mil? I would take 7 mil. I would definitely take 7 mil. But people say, why would you play? But it's like, the other side of that coin is like, well, somebody has to win it. Right? Like, somebody has to win it. It's the same thing with your dreams. It's like, well, why would you pursue being the greatest actor in the world? Well, somebody's going to do it. Why not me? Right? Somebody's going to make it. Why not me? Okay? So, I think in a nutshell, that kind of encapsulates what we know about Santiago to this point. We will learn more about him as the book continues. Okay? All right.